This is Dubai, a city that looks like it was designed to hypnotize you. Gold-lit towers, private beaches, supercars idling at red lights like they're bored, malls that feel like airports, lobbies that smell like money, and a skyline that whispers the same message every night. You made it. But there's another Dubai living inside this one. A Dubai where broke doesn't look like dirty clothes or empty streets. It looks like a pressed uniform, a polite smile, a phone held at the perfect angle so you don't see the shared room behind the camera. It looks like someone serving champagne in the air, while counting coins for dinner on the ground. Because in Dubai, many people don't fail loudly. They disappear quietly inside the luxury. They work under chandeliers and sleep under fluorescent lights. They build the image of paradise and then return to lives that must stay invisible, because the city doesn't just sell success, it sells the appearance of success. Tonight, we're stepping behind the glass, not to ruin the dream, but to show you what the dream costs and who pays for it. And by the end, you'll understand something unsettling. In Dubai, you can live surrounded by wealth and still feel like you're running out of air. This story is presented for narrative and entertainment purposes only. Dubai is often described as the future, a global showroom of ambition, a place where anything can be built, higher, faster, brighter. People arrive with suitcases full of hope and a single thought: if I work hard here, my life will change. And sometimes it does. But there's a reality most postcards never capture. Dubai is not one city. It's two worlds occupying the same streets. One world is visible: luxury hotels, influencer rooftops, business-class confidence, and a constant performance of winning. The other world is quiet: long commutes, shared rooms, strict budgets, and the pressure to look successful even when you're not. Because in Dubai, being broke doesn't always mean you're unemployed. Many people are working constantly. They're essential to everything you see: hospitality, retail, transport, maintenance, cleaning, security, logistics. Without them, the city's shine would dim overnight. Yet for many, life becomes a cycle of work, sleep, repeat, with barely enough left to breathe. And what makes it more intense is the contrast. In one direction, a penthouse glowing like a spaceship. In the other, a bus stop in the heat where tired people stand quietly, staring at their phones, calculating how far their paycheck can stretch. Tonight, we're not judging Dubai. We're not praising it either. We're simply walking into the spaces you're rarely shown, where the luxury ends and the real math begins. Before we continue, subscribe to Secret Journey for documentaries that reveal the hidden lives inside countries. And tell me, from which city and country are you watching this video? Dubai doesn't introduce itself slowly. It hits you all at once. A highway of polished metal and glass, billboards with perfect smiles, a skyline that looks like it's competing with the clouds. Even the air feels curated. Perfume in hotel corridors, cold air spilling out of malls, soft music in elevators that never stop moving. To newcomers, it can feel like proof that life can be upgraded. You land, you look up, and you think, this place runs on opportunity. But Dubai is also a city of mirrors. It reflects back what you want to believe, especially about money. Here, looking successful is almost a second job. People learn to speak in confident sentences, to dress like they're doing fine, to post the right angles, to never sound desperate. Because in a city built on status, struggle feels like a personal flaw you're supposed to hide. And that's why living broke in Dubai can be strangely invisible. You'll see a young man in a crisp shirt standing outside a luxury store. He looks like he belongs there. You won't see the part where he checks his bank balance twice before buying lunch. You'll meet a woman in a flawless hotel uniform, greeting guests with a calm voice. You won't see the part where she shares a room with 3 others, sleeping in shifts so everyone can rest. Dubai is a place where extremes sit side by side like they're normal. A marble lobby, a staff entrance hidden behind a plain door, a rooftop pool, a crowded bus pulling away from the back street, a five-star brunch, a late-night grocery run where every item is weighed against rent. And rent is where the dream becomes math. Many people arrive thinking they'll save quickly. They calculate in their heads, if I earn this much, I can send money home. I can build something. I can finally breathe. But life in Dubai has layers of cost, some obvious, some hidden. Housing, transport, food, phone plans, basic necessities. And then the costs no one talks about. The pressure to keep up, the fear of falling behind, the anxiety of a life that feels conditional. Because for many, Dubai doesn't feel permanent. It feels like a contract with the future. People say, just 2 years, then it becomes 4, then 6. Then I'll leave when I'm stable. But stability keeps moving. A person can be fine on paper and still be trapped. Not trapped by chains, trapped by expenses, expectations, and the quiet fear of starting over. And in the middle of all this, Dubai keeps performing. The city is always launching something, a new tower, a new neighborhood, a new promise. It's like the skyline itself is saying, if you're not rising, you're falling. So people rise in appearance. They keep their clothes neat. They keep their voice steady. They keep their stories optimistic. They laugh at brunch, even if they're counting days to payday. They send money home, even if it means skipping meals. They say, I'm good, because it's easier than explaining the truth, in a place that moves too fast to notice quiet pain. And the city rarely pauses to ask. That's the first secret of living broke in Dubai. It often doesn't look like collapse. It looks like endurance. Endurance in air-conditioned corridors. Endurance in crowded commutes. Endurance in small rooms where the lights never feel soft. Endurance under a skyline that makes you feel like success is everywhere, except inside your own life. But this is only the surface. Because once you step away from the postcards and follow the daily routes that keep Dubai running, you start to see the hidden geography of the city, where luxury is front stage and survival happens backstage. And that backstage has rules. Rules about time. Rules about visibility. Rules about what you can admit. In the next part, we're going to follow the rhythm of a normal day for the invisible workers of Dubai. How they move, where they sleep, what they sacrifice, and why so many of them stay silent even when they're drowning. Dubai's luxury is a machine. And like every machine, it needs parts, not the parts you photograph. The gold, the glass, the fountains, the human parts, the people who clean rooms before dawn so a tourist can wake up to perfection. The people who iron uniforms, polish floors, stock shelves, deliver packages, drive rides, prepare food, carry luggage, fix air conditioners, maintain elevators, and make the impossible look effortless. You can walk through a 5-star hotel and never see most of them. That invisibility is part of the design, because the luxury experience depends on something simple. The guest must feel like the city is serving them. And service at this level is supposed to be seamless, silent, almost invisible. So the workers learn to move like shadows. They enter through side doors. They eat quickly in staff rooms. They commute early so they don't collide with the main story of the city. Their routes are different. Their schedules are different. Their Dubai is made of back hallways, break rooms, bus stops, shared apartments, and exhaustion carried politely in the shoulders. Many are far from home. Some came because their local economies couldn't offer enough. Some came because they wanted to fund education for siblings, pay medical bills for parents, or build a future that felt impossible where they started. And Dubai, at first, seems to offer it. The pay may be better than what they had. The city is safe in many ways. The streets are organized. There's a sense that if you follow the rules, you can survive. But survival is not the same as living. For many, living broke means your paycheck is already spoken for before you receive it. Rent, shared rent, transport, food, money sent home, debt repayments, fees, basic necessities. and suddenly the dream becomes a narrow hallway you walk through every month, hoping nothing unexpected jumps out, because one unexpected cost can shake everything. A phone breaks. A family emergency happens back home. A medical expense shows up. A job schedule changes. A promised bonus doesn't arrive. A roommate leaves. And when you're living on a tight edge, the smallest event can become a crisis. But Dubai is a city where crisis is often handled privately. People don't always have the space to fall apart. Not emotionally, not socially, not financially. They have responsibilities, families watching from afar, people depending on them. And in a place where status matters, admitting you're struggling can feel like admitting you don't belong. So they keep the mask on. They learn to speak in positive lines. Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. It's okay, just busy. Dubai is good. They learn to hide fatigue behind professionalism. They become experts at smiling while their minds are calculating, and the contrast makes it sharper. Imagine working a 12-hour shift, serving luxury, then returning to a room where you share air with strangers, where your bed is a thin mattress, where you speak softly because someone else is sleeping before their own shift. Imagine spending all day in spaces designed to feel like freedom, then realizing you can't afford a day off. Dubai is full of people living that contradiction. And then there's the other side of broke in Dubai. The people who look like they're part of the dream, but aren't. Young professionals with decent salaries who still can't keep up with the city's pace. People who earn more than they ever did before and still feel behind because rent and lifestyle expectations rise faster than their peace. People who buy status in monthly installments, cars, clothes, dinners, because in Dubai, looking like you're winning can feel like part of the job. So the city becomes a stage, and almost everyone is performing. Some perform luxury, others perform stability. And the ones who are truly broke, the ones who can't perform anymore, learn something quickly. Dubai has very little patience for visible struggle, not because the city is heartless, but because the city is built to maintain an image of efficiency, order, success, controlled beauty. So the people who keep it running learn to disappear into the background, keeping the machine alive while quietly paying the price. In the next part, we'll talk about the pressure that doesn't show on receipts, the mental cost of living in a city where your worth can feel tied to productivity, appearance, and constant forward motion, where the fear isn't just being broke, it's being replaceable. Dubai can make you feel close to success even when you're far from it. That's part of what makes it so powerful and so exhausting, because the city is designed to make the future look reachable. The skyline doesn't just stand there, it promises. It says, people did this, people built this, you could be next. And when you're living broke, that promise becomes a pressure. Everywhere you turn, there's a reminder of what you don't have yet. The car you can't buy, the apartment you can't afford, the dinner you can't join, the weekend you can't take, the version of yourself you feel you're supposed to become. And in Dubai, supposed to is loud. You're supposed to hustle. You're supposed to upgrade. You're supposed to network. You're supposed to be grateful. You're supposed to look successful. So when you feel tired, you don't call it burnout. You call it weakness. When you feel lonely, you don't call it pain. You call it just part of the grind. And because so many people in Dubai are far from home, loneliness can become the city's quiet soundtrack. You can be surrounded by millions and still feel invisible. People work long hours. Social lives become complicated by schedules and budgets. Friendships can feel temporary because everyone is either arriving or leaving. Even relationships can carry a sense of uncertainty. Are we building something real or just surviving the same pressure together? Some people cope by chasing the city harder. They spend to feel included. They buy small pieces of luxury, brunches, clothes, nightlife, not because they can afford it, but because they want to feel like the dream is real. And for a moment, it is, until the bill comes. Then the cycle returns. This is a specific kind of stress. The stress of being almost okay, not poor enough to receive sympathy, not rich enough to breathe, just stuck in the middle, where your life looks impressive from the outside but feels fragile on the inside. And fragility becomes a secret, because in a city where many visas and jobs are tied to employment, people can feel hesitant to admit struggle. They don't want to appear unstable. They don't want to look like a risk. They don't want to be seen as someone who can't keep up. So they stay quiet. They endure headaches and exhaustion. They push through anxiety. They ignore the signs their body is sending. They sleep less. They work more. They tell themselves rest is something they'll earn later. But later keeps moving. And then there's another layer: comparison. In Dubai, comparison is everywhere because luxury is everywhere. It's visible, it's photographed, it's posted, it's displayed like a scoreboard. Even when you know social media is curated, it still lands in your mind like a whisper. Why not you? And if you're living broke, that whisper can become cruel. It makes you question your choices, your pace, your value. It makes you feel like everyone else is winning, even when many are also pretending. So the city becomes a room full of masks. Some masks are made of gold, others are made of politeness, but both can hide the same fear. What if I can't keep this up? And when that fear grows, people don't always explode. They don't make scenes, they don't crash publicly, they shrink. They stop going out, they stop calling home as often. They avoid questions, they avoid conversations that might reveal the truth. They keep showing up to work because work is the one place where their performance is clear, measured, rewarded. But inside, the dream can begin to feel like a treadmill. And that's when the most dangerous thought arrives. Maybe I'm the problem. Not the costs, not the structure, not the pressure, me. That belief can trap people more effectively than any rule. It turns a social issue into personal shame. It keeps people isolated, silent, and exhausted. In the next part, we'll talk about the hidden mechanics that make living broke in Dubai so stable. How the city's order, rules, and efficiency can protect the image, while making it harder for struggling people to pause, recover, and restart. Dubai is not chaotic, it's controlled. That control is part of why the city feels so impressive. Things work, roads are smooth, spaces are curated, problems are handled quickly, at least the problems that threaten the public image. And that's the key. In Dubai, struggle is often not denied, it's managed. Visible disorder is discouraged, not always through confrontation, often through design. Public spaces are built for movement, not lingering. Comfort is concentrated in places you pay to enter. Air conditioning, seating, privacy, softness. These things become products. If you can't afford them, you spend more time outside where heat and fatigue do their quiet work. And when you live broke, your daily life becomes a strategy. Where can you rest without spending money? Where can you eat without overspending? Where can you exist without feeling watched? For some, the answer becomes routine, malls, transit, staff accommodations, shared apartments, workplaces, not because they love these places, but because these places allow them to survive with the least friction. Dubai is built to reduce friction for the system. People who fit the system, investors, tourists, high earners, experience the city as smooth. People who don't fit, low-wage workers, the financially fragile, the exhausted, experience the city as sharp edges. The city doesn't need to shout at you. It simply makes life easier for some and harder for others. And then there's the psychological management, the narrative. Dubai's narrative is powerful. Opportunity, growth, the future. So if you're struggling, it can feel like you're interrupting a success story that everyone else wants to believe. You become careful with your words. You avoid negative energy. You tell yourself you should be grateful you're here. And gratitude can be beautiful until it becomes a gag, until it becomes a reason not to speak. People learn to minimize their pain. It's not that bad. Others have it worse. I just need to work harder. But the truth is, living broke takes energy. Constant calculation takes energy. Constant performance takes energy. And when your energy is spent just to maintain your place, your life can start to feel like maintenance instead of growth. This is where many people get trapped. They're not collapsing, so they assume they're okay. But they're not okay, they're just functioning. Functioning is not freedom, and the city rewards functioning. It rewards productivity. It rewards silence. Because silence keeps the machine clean. Even the contrast becomes part of the system. Luxury isn't just a lifestyle here, it's an atmosphere. It sets the standard. It makes everything else feel like falling short. So people keep chasing, keep upgrading, keep proving, and the city keeps collecting their effort. And when someone finally can't keep up, when the job ends, when health breaks, when debt grows too heavy, the fall can be quick. Not dramatic, quick. A person can go from almost stable to in crisis faster than the skyline changes color at sunset. And because Dubai is not a city that celebrates visible failure, people try to hide the fall. They move quietly, they cut contacts, they avoid attention, they disappear from the glossy spaces. And that's how the city stays perfect, not by eliminating hardship, but by making hardship less visible. But there's still one question hanging in the air. If Dubai is so efficient, why do so many people feel financially fragile? The answer isn't simple, and it isn't one villain. It's a structure, one that concentrates comfort at the top while extracting endurance from the bottom. A structure that offers opportunity, yes, but also demands constant stability from humans who are not machines. In the next part, we'll step into the most uncomfortable truth of all: how living broke in Dubai can become a loop, how people get stuck between hope and exhaustion, between the promise of next month and the reality of not yet, until life becomes a waiting room with no clear exit. Dubai is a city of arrivals. People land here with a plan, a timeline, a promise to themselves: I'll work, I'll save, I'll leave stronger. And that plan is often what keeps them going, even when they're living broke. Hope can be fuel, but hope can also be a loop. Because when your life becomes a series of almost moments, you start living in the future instead of the present. Next month I'll catch up. Next month I'll rest. Next month I'll start saving. Next month I'll feel stable. But next month becomes a horizon that keeps moving. And the city encourages that mindset. Dubai is built on next tower, next launch, next neighborhood, next opportunity. Even the people are always becoming next promotion, next visa, next contract, next paycheck. So when you're broke, you don't just feel poor, you feel impatient with yourself, like you're late, like you're failing at the schedule of success. And that's where debt often enters quietly. Not always huge debt, sometimes small debt that grows. A credit card used for emergencies, a loan to cover deposits, money borrowed to send home during a family crisis, a purchase made to maintain appearance. Because in Dubai, looking stable can protect your job, your relationships, your confidence. Debt becomes a silent companion. You carry it like a second ID card. You pay it like rent. You hide it like a shame. And shame is what keeps the loop closed. Because when you're ashamed, you don't ask for help early. You wait until it's urgent, until your options narrow. And the narrower your options, the more expensive your life becomes. You accept worse housing. You accept longer commutes. You accept less sleep. You accept more pressure. You trade comfort for survival. And tell yourself it's temporary, but temporary can become years, and that's the invisible cost behind the luxury. Time. Time spent commuting, time spent working, time spent calculating, time spent recovering just enough to do it again. People talk about Dubai as a place where time moves fast because the city is modern. But for the broke, time moves fast because life is a treadmill. Weeks disappear into shifts, months disappear into bills, years disappear into almost. And still, Dubai can be mesmerizing. That's what makes it complicated. The city is not a villain. It can be generous. It can be thrilling. It can genuinely change lives. Many people build real success here. Many people find safety, community, and momentum they never had before. But the truth is also this: Dubai can make it easy to mistake survival for progress, because you're surrounded by progress. So you assume you're progressing too, until you look at your bank account, your body, your sleep, your nervous system, and realize you've been running just to stay in place. And if you leave Dubai while broke, you don't always leave with a story you can tell proudly. You might say, "It wasn't for me," or "I'm taking a break," or "I'm moving on to something new." But inside, you might be carrying the quiet grief of a dream that didn't become what you hoped. Not because you weren't strong, not because you weren't talented, but because the city's luxury can make struggle feel like your private shame rather than a shared reality. And that's the final trick of living broke in Dubai. You can be surrounded by people going through the same pressure and still feel completely alone in it, because everyone is performing, everyone is trying, everyone is saving face, and the city keeps shining, bright enough to make the shadows look like they don't exist. Now the question becomes bigger than Dubai. If a place can look this perfect, this luxurious, this successful, how many lives are being quietly stretched behind the scenes to keep the image alive? Which brings us to the ending, the part most people avoid because it forces a simple, uncomfortable thought. Maybe the real luxury isn't what Dubai sells. Maybe the real luxury is being able to stop. Dubai will continue to dazzle the world. It will keep building higher, shining brighter, selling the future like a product you can step into. And for some, it truly is a place where life transforms. But for many others, Dubai is something quieter, a city where you learn to survive beautifully, where you learn to look okay, where you learn to smile through exhaustion, where broke doesn't look like collapse. It looks like a polished life held together by tension. Because behind every perfect lobby and every glowing skyline, there are people doing the invisible work of keeping the dream alive, while privately negotiating rent, debt, fatigue, and fear. This isn't a story about blaming a city. It's a story about seeing what luxury can hide, and maybe asking a question we rarely ask when we scroll past the towers and the supercars. If success is all around you, why do so many people feel financially fragile? If opportunity is everywhere, why does stability feel so rare? And if a city can look this perfect, how much is happening just out of sight? If you made it to the end, subscribe to Secret Journey for more documentaries that reveal the hidden lives inside countries. And tell me again, from which city and country are you watching this video? Because the next journey might be closer to your life than you think.